Xdefiant. Xdefiant is here, and the open beta runs, I guess, until the end of today, Friday. So if you haven't been able to pick it up, just go for it. And to be fair, right off the bat, between all the glitches, issues, frozen games, restarts of the of the game, the connectivity issues, the server issues, the lobby issues, all those things, I actually had a freaking blast with this game. The gameplay is rock solid. The aim assist isn't that strong as in Call of Duty, but once you just get used to it and you get a feel for it, you actually feel a rock solid shooter, a 6v6, fast paced, solid core of a shooter. And I think that is actually what the core of the messaging is we see everywhere. But the $1 million question is, as we have been seen passing by in the last few weeks, months, is this the Call of Duty killer? Short answer, I highly doubt it. As much as we all want to see that Call of Duty is getting some competition, somebody's making life miserable for Call of Duty, I highly doubt that this is the game. But before we dive into that, welcome to the channel. My name is Movement6, and before we start, a huge thank you to everybody who subbed in the last period. And if you're new here, drop a like, subscribe, hit those notification buttons. Now, back to the lecture at hand. Xdefiant. To be fair, as said, I don't think that this is going to be the Call of Duty killer. Just on a few notes. Right? Let's start with gameplay. It's rock solid, right? You can actually feel that there is an old Call of Duty team behind this game. It did remind me on the speed and the fun, and it's unpretentious. It's just a good game. It's no skill-based matchmaking, so that's also freaking fantastic. But what I don't understand is why they break up the lobbies constantly. One of the things that annoys me always in Call of Duties nowadays is that they break up the lobbies. If you go back to Black Ops 4, which I'm playing lately a lot, that's still the last Call of Duty where you have that old Call of Duty flavor with lobbies that just stick together and you have map vote. Now, of course, it's a beta. Good news is it's a beta. And why that's good news is with Call of Duty, they always announce the beta, but it's not a beta. Eventually, you will get a demo, and that's the game. You can really feel that they're dying for the input of the community, stress testing the servers, stress testing the game, and based on the feedback, they're going to optimize the game in the future, for the future, and for the release. So that's a good news. It's good. You actually feel that this is a beta. No doubt that the finished product is going to be way more richer in content than just two buttons with practice and unranked and go for it, and then just play it. But as said, it's not going to be the Call of Duty, because when you've been playing Xdefiant for a couple of hours, you actually feel that although we're shitting on Activision, we're shitting on those publishers, and we're shitting on Call of Duty as a franchise right now in the state it's in, Call of Duty is still very rock solid force of nature, to be fair. And when you play Call of Duty, I think we can all say that we're pretty spoiled, because Call of Duty just plays damn good, and it's we're used to the kill streaks, for example, and the richness of the gameplay. We don't like add-ons and skill-based matchmaking, but also those hit-based matchmaking, if you will. There's an SBMM in the way you aim. The more kills you get, the harder it becomes to get that kill streak. That's not in Xdefiant. It's not. You either have it or you don't. But the downside I'm having with Xdefiant, I like the ultras. It reminds me of Black Ops 4 and 3. You know, you have those ultras as well in that game, but I don't think that I'm missing them if they weren't there. And sometimes I just bluntly forgot that I had ultras in this game. It feels like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do it now, or something like that. Black Ops 4 really made that work. and it was an integrated part of the game. It's for me, it's just you have Xdefiant and it's a shooter, and oh yeah, there are also ultras, but actually, I am missing one more layer. Why not just add kill streaks, kill streak rewards into this game? The kill streak doesn't really feel rewarding in this game for some weird reason. You have that sound and it says in your screen kill streak, but I already know that. I know that I'm on a kill streak, so I'm not sure why that needs to bring any emotions or anything. But I miss something in that space. So I also think that this game can easily. I fear that you can easily get bored with this game eventually. It's a rock solid shooter. I had tons of fun, but I doubt that if this is the game and they optimize it, if that actually would be enough to keep me coming back. I'm playing Black Ops 4 lately a lot, and I'm playing a lot of Battlefield 2042 because I think that game is in a really good state right now. But other than that, I don't think that Xdefiant has the richness and the content in terms of gameplay of really making Call of Duty's life difficult. As much as we all want that, maybe, and I think it's healthy for Activision as well to have competition in that space because they don't have any competition in this space at this point. Titanfall did it in the past. Still think that Titanfall 2 is one of the best rock solid shooters out there, but also didn't make it because Call of Duty is still a force of nature to be reckoned with. The community is huge, so if you want to penetrate decades of being the uncrowned king of the hill, then you need to have something really going on there. And Xdefiant has something going on there, but I don't think that it's enough. It's fun, and it's good, but there was also but for me in this game. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that eventually Call of Duty. I never bought Call of Duty for the graphics. I think it has improved significantly over time. I think the gameplay of the single player campaign and how it looks and how it's presented actually looks freaking awesome at this point. But Call of Duty for me has never been about the graphics. But Xdefiant is not really a pretty looking game. I'm just going to throw it out there. For me, the game looks and feels like a last generation game, and I don't see anything strongly optimized for current generation consoles like Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, or even PC for that matter. So I think it's actually a really ugly looking game. The maps look okay-ish, but if you go up close and personal to walls or items in the game, you see that there are very low-res textures being used. Shadows don't match up and often glitch out. And also the character models don't really feel like a current generation hardware type of game. It actually looks pretty bad from sometimes. Generic. I'm pretty unimpressed also with the end lobby screen. Of course, Call of Duty has either had the best play or the final kill cam, and I think Black Ops 4 actually nailed it with those best plays. But the the Xdefiant is just somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the best player in here," and fine. And then you see you see the losers, you see the winners, and then it's basically a loading screen, and you're watching something dull and uninteresting with some music, and that's it. So I don't think that in terms of it's not enough. It's not going to be enough to stick. I do think that they will have a solid player base because it is fun, and no doubt I'm going to pick it up as well. I guess it's free to play, free to download, free to play. So I'm going to pick it up, and no doubt that I will have some fun with this game. But I don't. There needs to be a huge surprise in the official launch of this game. Will it actually be a heavy contester, or for Call of Duty or make its life difficult. I don't see that happening, unfortunately, to be fair. Unfortunately, because Activision has said, and its publishers, the publisher and its developers actually need a good and solid competition in this space, which they don't have right now. So it's, again, guys, Xdefiant beta, open beta. It runs today until 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, I believe. It would be very wise. I think it's a pretty weird 3 days. I would extend it into the weekend because people are at home. People can spend more time with the game. So they did it during the week. They also didn't have a preload. A lot of issues prevented people from really spending a lot of time with this game. There are been a lot of issues. I think it's pretty stable right now. But if you haven't picked it up yet, just check it out yourself. Again, it's not going to be a Call of Duty killer. It's not going to make life difficult for Call of Duty. Yeah, I just hope that they launch well before Modern Warfare 3 is going to launch, because otherwise we will see a Titanfall 2 disaster in the making, because that launched, I guess, right between the Battlefield and a Call of Duty release at the time. So I do hope they do it before that, so they can grow some solid base. And I'm really looking forward what the end state of this product is going to be. But as it stands right now, good solid gameplay. It's not a very pretty game in my view. There needs to be some tweaking and tuning on the guns, but I'm not here to review that right now because it's a beta. But they have something going on there. But I do think that in terms of gameplay, they need to expand beyond the ultras to make it interesting and to keep it interesting. So those are my 2 cents right now, guys. I'm really looking forward to your comments. Do you play Xdefiant? What are your thoughts and what are your prayers for this game? For now, back to Battlefield. Moment 6 out.